Nation, welcome to another edition of Training Camp Live. It's the last one of Training Camp 2024, so we got to go out with a bang. Let's go ahead and check out all the action right here. We got the red zone action. Dak Prescott at quarterback right now. The one's up. Practice has been a little bit fun today, Patrik.
Absolutely it has.
Jalen Tolbert. I think we'll see that a lot this season.
Al Harris making it known that his defensive back, quote-unquote, had to see that one coming.
For sure.
But, yeah, you see the chemistry continuing to build from Dak Prescott to Jalen Tolbert. And, you know, Jalen Tolbert's going to factor in a big way this coming season.
All right, here goes. 3-6, combo number 2.
We got Kelvin Harmon with a lot of action as well. I've been impressed with him so far throughout camp. He's stacked a lot of good days.
He's showing that he has some of the best hands in the wide receiver room, and that's over the course of his training camp practices, but also in the 2 preseason games as well.
Ryan Flanoy in the back of the end zone, one-on-one with Deron Bland. We saw Ryan Flanoy get his first NFL touchdown in the preseason against the Raiders.
And how beautiful it was, and especially that catch. If you look at not only the accuracy from Dak Prescott to put that up where only his receiver can get it, Ryan Flanoy, he elevates, catches at the high point, turns, gets both feet down. That's what you like to see, especially from a rookie who's normally accustomed to just getting 1 foot down. Looks like Flanoy is acclimating quickly to these NFL rules.
Ooh, gotta love that.
I love it.
Quick adjustments.
So much. Heart eye emoji.
Heart eye emoji is crazy. We got Trey Lance in at quarterback coming off of a great performance against the Raiders, and
he
finds Deontay Burnett.
That, madam.
What a route.
And ladies and gentlemen, that is a route. The way Deontay Burnett was able to break off of that hook, get both feet in, absolutely. And fantastic ball there as well.
Mm-hmm. Trey Lance with good footwork. Eric Scott. You know, he's a guy that, you know, of course, a draft pick last year, didn't see the field much, but he's had a really good training camp so far. You talk about the interception that he had against the Rams in the first week of the preseason, and he's just continued to build off of that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the best training camp of the 2 that he's had with the Cowboys. Great ball there from Trey Lance. But going back to Eric Scott, this is going to be a big game for him coming up against the Los Angeles Chargers when you look at the team having recently traded for Andrew Booth, who also plays nickel. Don't know yet where they're going with Israel Mukuamu. Is he safety? Is he big nickel? So Eric Scott, he's coming along, but he's looking to have a big game.
Tyron Billy Johnson with good hands there. We saw him get a little bit of some offensive snaps against the Raiders. What have you liked so far?
Well, first of all, let's talk foreshadowing because that was Israel Mukuamu, who we were just speaking about, and Tyron Billy Johnson kind of going to the Eric Scott arc of needing a big game against the Los Angeles Chargers. Tyron Billy Johnson being one of the camp superstars here in Oxnard, but it's not translated over the first 2 games in the preseason. It's not gotten the targets, not gotten the production, so this is going to be a very big audition for him. So I'd love to see his energy there.
Another big grab from, I don't know, was he in? Did he get 2 feet in? Wish we had a replay button on here.
Yeah.
That'd be so helpful.
You know what? The eye test says he got in. It's the final practice in Oxnard. He got in, ladies and gentlemen.
Ooh, good separation there from Cam Johnson.
And, of course, on that previous play, it was Kelvin Harmon, again, showing the hands that he's shown so many times over the course of training camp out here in Oxnard.
You know, we talked to McCarthy yesterday, and he talked about the positions. Jerry Jones mentioned the position groups that would be the hardest to have those difficult conversations. Talk about the wide receiver room. So many guys that have the talent to be on this roster. So far, who do you got?
That's going to be one of the more difficult conversations as we watch Burnett. But, I mean, obviously you talk about CeeDee Lamb. He'll be here shortly, or I should say he'll likely meet the team in Dallas at this point. And then fantastic pass breakup there. Fantastic pass breakup.
Israel Mukuamu.
He's getting his lick back.
For sure.
From what happened against Tyron Billy Johnson a few reps ago, and you love to see that. Israel Mukuamu, absolutely one of the more fiery competitors, and you just love to see him play and compete.
And specifically,
never takes a rep off.
After he makes a play, you're going to hear about it.
You're going to hear about it. You're going to hear about it. But circling back to the wide receiver room, you got CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks. You got to factor in Jalen Tolbert, and then Kevontae Turpin, obviously. Behind those four, Ryan Flanoy, I think he makes the team for obvious reasons. That's 5 to my count. And then add another one. I think Jalen Brooks makes the team at 50 on the 53-man roster. That's 6. How many are you looking to carry? And if you're going to go heavy and carry 7, it's an all-out battle royale for that final spot.
Battle Royale getting bougie on me.
With cheese. That's a ball.
Johnson.
That's a ball from Cooper Rush is what that is.
It was.
And for all of the rightful talk on, how Trey Lance is doing in camp, Cooper Rush has continued to be, you look at another good ball from Cooper Rush, he's continued to be, Nicole, kind of that cool hand Luke. He's that steady hand. He never gets too high, never gets too low. Just comes in, makes the throws, and then goes and gets his Gatorade.
Oh, goes and gets the Gatorade. That's a good one. I don't think I've heard that one before.
Yeah, I mean, the guy comes in and he makes the big play, and then he goes and gets his refreshments, his hydration. Got to stay hydrated.
Lance.
Guess who?
That's just Israel McQuam. How many times have we counted his name today? About
3.
4?
That's 3 today, and he won 2 out of those 3. And even when he lost the rep to Tyron Billy Johnson, he was still talking about it to Tyron Billy Johnson.
Hey, let's talk about the fact that now they have him at corner, playing a little bit on the boundary.
And, you got to love that, because if you go back to the Cowboys playoff game in Tampa against Tom Brady, he helped save the day at the nickel for the Cowboys. They were down Anthony Brown. They were down Jordan Lewis for the season. Things didn't work out with Deshaun Wright or Kelvin Joseph to that point. They pulled Israel McQuam from safety in that one game, and he helped shut down Tom Brady, of all people. So he's got the ability, and quite as it's kept, he played cornerback at South Carolina before joining the NFL, before coming to the Cowboys, and then he was converted to safety. So he has that versatility. He has that length, so keep an eye on that.
We got the 2s up in the red zone. Oh, it might be Dak, JK.
Al Harris with some words for the official.
Oh, for
sure. Don't let him talk you into that flag.
Got
ref.
Diggs in on the action as well. All right, 2s up. Cooper Rush at quarterback. Deontay Burnett. Ooh. Nice
Good
pass break
PBU
up.
there. Yeah, good PBU. Got his head around just in time. And speaking of Diggs, as he stood here in front of
Johnson
us,
on that.
You got to love what Diggs is able to do in getting back on the field and getting back to form. Saw him intercept Dak Prescott on yesterday in full padded practice. He's getting where he needs to be, and right in time, because the Cowboys do have the Cleveland Browns waiting for them in about 3 weeks from now.
I think we just forgot to say Israel McQuam again.
Yeah, and that's why he's looking in this direction. You could argue that he's looking at Al Harris, but, without being able to see through the reflector, it's definitely over here at us.
Getting a little.
That's 4, right?
That's now 4.
That's 4.
And getting
4
a little
times.
dap after that from the DB guru.
He's got to give us a 5-pack now. You can't leave us at 4, Izzy.
Cam Johnson. I don't know. I think that was a little bit of holding, but.
There was a lot of bit of holding.
Nice way for Cam Johnson to stay on his feet there.
There's a lot of bit of holding is what that was. You would have seen 4 flags. It would have looked like the yellow brick road.
I love it.
But they're competing. That's
Cooper
good.
Rush.
A little bit deep for Kelvin Harmon. If that ball has a little more touch on it, give Kelvin Harmon that opportunity. I think he comes down with that ball. He's done it so far in training camping games.
Kelvin Harmon, one of the 2 receivers brought in this training camp, along with Deontay Burnett. Certainly making a name for themselves within this Cowboys team.
Well, I have to repay this favor. Now I have to ask you, what's your wide receivers depth chart?
Dang,
Nicole
that's crazy.
Hutchison?
Well, okay, so without CeeDee Lamb here, I'm going Jalen Tolbert, of course. Well, Patrik, you asked me for my list. I'm going JT, Jalen Tolbert, Brandon Cooks, Kevontae Turpin, Jalen Brooks. That 5th one's a little hard, man, but I've got to give it to I'm going to give it to Tyron Billy Johnson. He spent time on practice squad, but he's stacked some really good days throughout camp so far. So that's where I'm going. I'm only sticking with 5. Yep.
Plus CD.
Plus CD. So
that's
6.
your 6.
That's my 6.
So you're carrying 6, not 7.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Interesting.
It's just, hey, keep an eye out.
Hop in the comments and let us know who you're carrying on the wide receiver depth chart. We're interested.
All right, well, that'll do it for this edition of Training Camp Live. We'll see y'all in AT&T Stadium on Saturday.